The airport hangar was unusually quiet that Sunday morning. The sky above Atlanta shimmered with heat waves, and the air carried the smell of jet fuel and possibility. Inside Hangar Bay 9, a sleek black private jet sat dead silent, immobile due to a technical issue that no one could diagnose. The crew had already tried everything. Engineers scratched their heads. Ground staff murmured and checked their watches. They were losing time, and the CEO they were waiting for didn't do well with delays. And that's when Malik Johnson stepped in. He wasn't dressed like a technician. In fact, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Just 17, Malik was a part-time apprentice on weekends, mainly washing aircrafts and organizing tools for the actual certified mechanics. Most people didn't even notice him, just a black kid with grease-stained jeans and an old pair of Jordans, quietly humming to himself while working in the background. But Malik noticed everything. He'd been fascinated with planes since he was 6 years old. He used to build them out of cardboard boxes. He memorized cockpit layouts from YouTube videos. He could name every switch, every dial. He didn't just see airplanes, he felt them. He understood them like musicians understood rhythm. And today, something in his gut told him that the problem wasn't with the electronics or hydraulics, like the experts thought. It was something simpler, something mechanical. He walked closer to the grounded jet, ignoring the dismissive stares of a few ground crew members. "What are you doing, Malik?" an older mechanic asked. "This isn't your level." Malik didn't answer right away. His eyes were locked on the tail rudder. Then he walked slowly toward the engine panel on the right side. "I just want to check something." He climbed up the service platform, reached into a compartment and twisted off a panel. And there it was. The actuator valve was out of alignment, barely a millimeter off, but enough to throw the entire thrust system into error mode. The jet wouldn't fly like that. "Got a 316 torque driver?" he called over his shoulder. The mechanic reluctantly handed him the tool. Everyone watched. 10 minutes later, Malik had the valve realigned, the panel back in place, and the onboard diagnostic flashing green. The crew chief stared at the screen. "That fixed it?" "Try starting it now," Malik said confidently. The crew powered up the engine. The jet roared to life, purring like a tiger in a cage. Applause broke out among the staff. Even the skeptical mechanic nodded in disbelief. "Kid, how'd you know?" Malik shrugged. "I just listened to it. Jets talk to you. You just gotta know how to listen." But the real moment came minutes later. A black SUV pulled up to the hangar, and out stepped Preston Wilder, CEO of Wilder Technologies, a billionaire tech entrepreneur with a reputation for perfection, power, and being hard to impress. His personal jet had been grounded for hours and he wasn't happy, until he saw Malik. The boy was walking off the platform, wiping his hands with a rag, still wearing his old hoodie and worn jeans. But around his neck hung a glinting pilot wing necklace, a small metal pin shaped like angel wings, polished and worn with time. Wilder stopped walking, his eyes locked on the necklace like he'd seen a ghost. He walked directly up to Malik. "You, what's your name?" "Malik, sir." "You fixed my jet?" "I did, sir." Preston Wilder didn't say a word for several seconds. Then he pointed at the necklace. "Where'd you get that?" Malik looked down and touched it gently. "It was my dad's. He was a pilot in the Air Force. He passed away in a training crash when I was 10. Wilder's jaw clenched. He nodded slowly, as if some invisible thread had just connected them. "My father wore one just like that," he murmured. "Also Air Force." For the first time in years, Preston Wilder looked shaken. Then he turned to his assistant. "Cancel my morning call. I want to talk to this young man." Inside the private jet's luxurious lounge, Malik sat awkwardly on a leather seat. Definitely not where he imagined his Sunday shift would end up. Preston Wilder poured 2 glasses of water from a crystal decanter and sat across from him. He hadn't said much yet, just looked at the boy in a way few had ever looked at Malik before. Not as a cleaner or helper or kid from the South Side, but as something more. "You remind me of someone," Wilder finally said. "Me, actually, when I was your age." Malik raised an eyebrow. "Didn't think you'd start in a place like this." Preston chuckled. "I didn't. Grew up in Newark. We couldn't even afford heat in winter. First time I touched a computer was in the back of a public library, but I knew I had it. I just needed someone to see it. Malik nodded. That's what I've been waiting for too. Wilder leaned forward. Tell me about this necklace. Why do you still wear it? Malik swallowed. Because my dad told me one thing before his last flight. He said, son, if your wings are in your heart, they'll never crash. So I wear this to remind me that no matter how grounded life makes me feel, I've still got wings. The silence after those words was heavier than the jet's fuselage. Wilder slowly nodded. Wings in your heart, I like that. He stood up and walked to a cabinet on the wall. From it, he pulled out a sleek black envelope sealed in gold wax. This, he said, handing it to Malik, is a full-ride sponsorship to the Aerospace Youth Academy in California. It's a program I fund. Most kids who go there end up working at NASA, Boeing, or my company. Malik stared at it, stunned. But I don't have the grades, the credentials. You've got the mind, the instincts, the wings. Preston added with a rare smile. Credentials can be trained, heart that can't be taught. Tears filled Malik's eyes. This was more than a chance. It was the beginning of a future he'd only seen in dreams. Just then, Wilder's assistant entered. Jet's ready, sir. Wilder turned to Malik. Come with me. Fly with me to LA. You'll start orientation tomorrow. Let's see what happens when the world stops doubting you. Malik stood, his heart pounding. The boy who fixed jets was about to fly in one, not as a stowaway or mechanic, but as a passenger with a destiny. As the jet lifted off the runway, Malik stared out the window, clutching the necklace at his chest. His father's wings had never left him, and now they were finally carrying him forward.